YouTube! What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. Welcome back to the battlefields of Warhammer 2. Or, sorry, Warhammer 2. I wish. I am wishing, because I just went and saw the newest content about Warhammer 2. Their pre-order is open on Steam, and the special and Serpent God editions, if you want to order a physical copy. And in any case, yeah, I'm pretty excited. Got to see the little bit of footage on the the High Elves versus Lizardmen. We'll talk about it at a later point, but I wanted to watch this replay. Seemed like it'd be fun. It's going to be a Dwarf versus Elf grudge match, so pointy ears versus the beards. I like the pick of the grudge thrower versus the elves. I think it's a solid pick. Couple of slayers for defense. A bolt thrower, interesting way to try and keep flying lords at bay. And then there's a couple of quarrelers up front. No, rangers. And the rangers have shields as well. So a couple of rangers up front, just lower armor, but still have shields, which make them pretty effective skirmishers. See the bolt thrower working pretty hard to keep the Glady away, but she decides to swoop in anyway and do some damage. She's going to use the Prey of Anathrema here to stop the Slayers, which was a pretty nice play. Over here, hidden in the woods, we've got several units of Wild Riders that have been yet to be exposed. You got several Eternal Guards, and or 4 Eternal Guards, several Wildwood Rangers, 1 War Dancer. So the Wildwood Rangers can definitely get the work done versus the Armored Infantry, and Glady is taking a beating, trying to get into these Rangers. The constant bolt thrower. Let's see, so we got 3 Slayers, my bad, so wow. Dragon back and 2 standard Slayers, I totally missed that. The Lord is just standard Dwarf Lord. Ooh. Norgrimling's Ironbreakers putting down a salvo there. Here comes the Branch Wraith. Fire Ring of Thori used. Not a whole lot of effect. Dwarf Warriors just kind of holding up out here, but they're going to get wrecked. But look at that, the Wildwood Rangers. They were apparently taking a beating from the Grudge Thrower. That's pretty significant because the Wildwood Rangers are very important. Now, these War Dancers are fast units. Nice job getting them around the flanks, holding on to the Wild Riders for the right moment. Without the Rune Lord Runesmith combination, the Wildwood Rangers are going to be more difficult to deal with, but the Glady is off the battlefield, actually, and the Bolt Thrower has a solid beat on her. Looks like the Slayers are going to intercept the War Dancers, but the Wild Riders should be able to get around the flank. Glady's going to come back. There is a Branch Wraith to heal. And it looks like the healing's taking place here on the front line. That's where it makes sense. Still very alive, the Wildwood Rangers. Nice arrows of Kronos there. These Rangers are going to get picked up by the Wild Riders. These Wildwood Rangers here are absolutely hacking their way through the Dwarves, and the ones in the center are doing fairly well up against some tough foes, though. And out here on the flank, the Slayers are probably keeping the Wild Riders in check. Some are trying to move around to the opposite flank and are being shredded by Rangers as they're accidentally mismicroed here. So it's a fairly close fight so far. The Dwarf Lord's very much alive. He's trying to work on the Branch Wraith. Glady's going to swoop down into these Rangers, but those Rangers, man, they got a significant piece of these Wild Riders, and the Bolt Thrower got quite a lot of work done on the Glady before it was shut down. War Dancers holding some Slayers back here, but here the Dragonback Slayers and Longbeards get a hold of some more Wild Riders, and they will chew them up and spit them out. But on this flank, the Wood Elves are shutting down the Dwarves. They're starting to lose their leadership and be pushed back. Looks pretty sweet, man. I can't wait for Warhammer 2. It's looking so good. And there is one unannounced race pack that I've mentioned before. They said that they're going to take an existing race and give it unique units and legendary lords. My guess at this point is that it may be one of the North factions. Maybe, I don't know, like Varg or Scaling, Norska. Some new faction that they throw into the mix, maybe. So, but they said it was existing, so I don't know, maybe Varg or Scaling would be my guess. And if it is one of those, I wonder how they go about making that a somewhat unique feel, keeping it different from Chaos. But that's the one that makes the most sense to me at this point, because they said not Kislev. But I don't suppose there's anything... I mean, yeah, they said it was an existing one. I don't suppose there's anything keeping it from being Astalia or Tylea. All they said was not Kislev. So we have to take my guess. It'd be one of those two. Be Astalia, Tylea, or either Varg or Scaling. Would be best guess as to who they're adding. This is still a fairly tight fight, but the Glady is alive, and I think that's going to make all the difference here because she can bomb the dwarf player at this point. Let's see how many Wildwood Rangers are alive. There's some War Dancers here. Yeah, quite a few Wildwood Rangers alive in the center, and a few more alive over on this side, so not going to be looking good for the dwarves at this point. Anything they have to destroy the Wildwood Rangers has been decimated, which is going to leave the dwarves in bad shape. See the Glady and her dragon pushing on through. There's the Dwarf Lord right there. Gets stabbed from all sides by Wood Elves and a Branch Wraith. Yeah, with the Branch Wraith not being dead, I don't think the dwarves have any prayer, to be honest. Arrows of Kurnos, losing some Wildwood Rangers, my bad. All these elf names get me. The Norgrimling's Ironbreakers have held out a spectacularly long time, really. Let's get in close and get some more footage. Comes the Wild Riders from behind. So clearly the strategy in this battle for the elf player, without being able to read his mind, was Eternal Guard for a little bit of armor-piercing fodder. Then you're going to have Wildwood Rangers to do the real heavy hitting from the infantry standpoint. Hold the fast movers for when the Slayers and other units get busy. Pull them out from the Vanguard deploy. Able to get to the back lines and disrupt. So, wow, look at this. Look at this. The dwarf player making a last-second comeback here. One of these is a unit of Slayers here. And the Dwarf Lord is still alive. This is actually looking pretty bad for the Wood Elves. Albeit that they have the Glady here, who is going to be capable of doing some significant sniping work on the Dwarf Lord, which will probably turn it in favor of the Wood Elves. But talk about some Dawi resistance here. They don't go down without a fight, do they? So they have really made this a match. Interesting, it's just a standard Dwarf Lord, too, but I guess that was probably to save money so that they could have more units against the Wood Elves. My favorite Dwarf build is still the Rune Lord, Rune Smith combination, which a lot of people think is OP. Honestly, though, if you're going against an infantry-type assault from another faction, it is the most reliable way for the dwarves to shut that down. Here comes the regrouped elves. Nice arrows of Kurnos there. Wildwood Rangers charging in. This is going to hurt the dwarves pretty badly. There's one pretty healthy unit of Longbeards here, but if the Dwarf Lord kicks the bucket here at the hands of the Glady, then they're in trouble. Going to be a rear charge here. Should help finish off the Slayers. There's only 7 of them left anyway. Dragonback Slayers, just a couple of them still left around. The Glady is kind of swooping around, trying to get the Dwarf Lord, who looks like he's routing at this point. So, going to be a very close victory for the Wood Elves. So today, the pointy ears won out over the beards. I'm sure that I have viewers on this channel that will declare this a grudging, but I thought it was a fun match nonetheless. Dwarves are considered to be a pretty hard counter in some ways to the Wood Elves, but the Wood Elves do have some ways to make the dwarves suffer. It's just a Dragonback Slayer left over here. One mighty Slayer left amidst all of his enemies. There he goes with his axes across. So it's in the battle. Check it out. This is actually submitted by Ziphos and up against Rigson. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. I did. Like, take a look at the stats here. So we got the Wild Riders. Pretty solid performance here overall. Decent kills on a couple of the Wildwood Rangers, some of them picking up chevrons. Unless the chevrons were pasted on before the battle, which I guess is possible. Look at that. 99 kills for the Dragonback Slayers. Dwarf Warriors not racking up a whole lot as expected, but like this Longbeard right here got some substantial kills. The Goblobber, if those kills were on Wildwood Rangers, then it was probably paying for itself pretty quick. 2 chevrons on the Bolt Thrower. Again, could have been excess chevrons, or it could have picked those up from the damage done to the Glady. I think chevrons are picked up by damage, but I could be wrong. Anyway, appreciate MSI sponsoring the channel and all the help that they give me. Appreciate you, my awesome viewer, for being here. Sorry you went a couple of days without videos, but I had to work this weekend and it kind of threw my schedule off. So we'll be getting back into the normal swing of things. Tell me what kind of battles you want to see. I do still intend to show a little bit of Lore of the Wild here soon, hopefully. So we'll talk about it. But in any case, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you soon on some more Total War Warhammer action.